Absolutely, prior to the start of our state championship with the running of the 80th Victorian Speedcar title.
Yep, so they look like they might be fairly in order now, so we won't be too far away from a start here in this one, Gary.
Benton Farm Machinery Repairs patient is...
it's leaving the track.
Yeah.
All in readiness here.
Lights are out.
Looking forward to Heat 1. Connor Ryan and Mitch Saunderson off the front row. Yeah. Saunderson leads down through turns 1 and 2.
Caleb Mills back there in position 3.
Oh, some jostling. Nick Parker involved in it, back in the pack as well. Saunderson goes by with 9 laps to run. Here comes Caleb Mills there in the V10. He's looking really racy early on.
Zoe Pearce, the car that Caleb Mills gets by this time.
Yeah. So Caleb gets around the outside of Zoe, and he'll now go out after Mitch Saunderson. Zoe Pearce back to 3rd. Travis Buckley back there in the NZ7. Further back, Connor Ryan and Curtis Jackson. Problems for Caleb. So Camels has got some issues, and he's limping around up the top of the track. Have we got the yellows on? No, he can't get off. Green still as we come down, and Saunderson still your race leader. The yellows come out now, so that took a little while, but Camels was certainly limping around. And, oh, there he is straight ahead of us there. I miss ours here tonight. So can Zoe put some pressure on the runaway race leader at the first start, Mitch Saunderson? Saunderson will get the jump. Shoot down the front straight. Mitch Saunderson leads the way. Zoe Pearce sits in second, coming under some pressure now from the NZ7 of Travis Buckley. So Buckley, just gets up behind but can't make a pass. Now he'll try and have a shoot down the front straight. Gets into turns 1 and 2, and Travis Buckley takes up that second position. Zoe Pearce back in 3rd. Got some pressure around the outside down, though. Keenan Fleming. So Fleming coming around the outside in the 26. Takes a couple of them, does Fleming in the W26, and he'll come out after your race leaders. Nick Parker now on a real rip back there behind the number 3 car, which is that of Gent further back in the field, but your race leader leading it nicely here is the ACT3, but getting some pressure now. So the ACT3, he's had it mostly all his own way throughout this one. The NZ7 of Travis Buckley trying to come out after him. Starting to close it down now, Buckley. Back in 3rd, Keenan Fleming, who was on a big rip from back in the field. Nick Parker's worked his way up to 5th. Back in 4th place there, we've got Curtis Jackson in the N3. They come past the start-finish line. There's 2 laps to run here. This is closing down into a nice little heat race. Down the back chute they go, and Mitch Saunderson, your race leader. The NZ7 of Buckley, up and around the outside he goes. Can't quite get it to stick this time. Last lap, your race leader, Mitch Saunderson, leads the way. We go back to the NZ7 of Buckley. So Buckley's got one last shot at it around the outside. Stands on it, and Buckley gets around, but oh my goodness gracious me. Travis Buckley, I think, has got it from Mitch Saunderson, Keenan Fleming, Curtis Jackson. Further back to Nick Parker, Dylan Gent, Troy Jordan back there. Oh my giddy aunt, Gary Ross, what a finish to heat race number 1.
Yeah, that
wrapped with that. That was one hell of a drive. You nearly got it done with 2 to go, and then that last lap was just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just don't know what happened there. Just kind of got a sixth sense and stuck it out and pedalled it just out a little bit more than what we needed. So
a great start to the Victorian Championship, mate. Obviously you'll be eyeing off next weekend as well, and what a great start.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a bit out of breath. That took a lot of focus, man, but we'll just try and keep it rolling.
Mate, I'm sure you want to thank
We get set for a start. Back underway, good start too. And straight away, Cale Drake in the 5 car. Heads down into turn 3 and 4. Back behind him, have a look at that. Jackson up in position 2 in the 2 car of Brad Mosen. That's the New Zealand 2 entry. He's into 3rd. And further back in the field with Jay Rostich and also Caden Brown, your Australian champion. They make their way up the front straight and around through turns 1 and 2 once again. Your race leader, it is still Cale Drake. Doing a nice job from Matt Jackson and then Brad Mosen. So good little race up the front here for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Then it's Caden Brown. Have a look at Cale Drake once again. Matt Jackson and also Brad Mosen. This is really good. And also Caden Brown.
Winding into one, but we might have lost Matt Jackson, did we, down through turn 2? I thought we lost him, but yes, the yellow's come on now. He just, because Cale Drake hasn't really put a foot wrong. Neither's Mossen. 6 laps on our Linus Steel lap counter. Not quite half heat race distance yet, but Drake about to lead us away. Down the front straight. That's loose. Up on the inside goes Mossen now, and Mossen. Brad Mossen up to 1st. He takes Cale Drake. Back in 3rd, we've got the Australian champion, Caden Brown. Shoots down the front straight, the top 3. Oh, Caden lights up on the inside of Cale Drake. Drake will try and return serve off turn 2. Close together. Your Australian champion now sits in P2 all the way from P9. Cale Drake back to 3rd. Daniel Patterson in the N11. Jackson back up to 5th. We go out to your race leader though, and Brad Mossen, the New Zealander, leads the way here. Leads it nicely. He'll come by with 3 laps to run. So 3 laps for Brad Mossen in the 2 car. The Australian champion Caden Brown sits back in 2nd. Back in 3rd we go to Cale Drake. Patterson back there in 4th. Further back we go to Matt Jackson. But your race leader skipping away, getting 2 laps to run. The Australian champion sits back in 2nd. He's got nothing for the race leader. He keeps getting further front as Mossen. He'll gather the white flag this time round. Back in 2nd, Caden Brown. Back in 3rd, Cale Drake. We then go back to Patterson. Daniel Patterson, he's got a battle on his hands to try and steal that 3rd away from Cale Drake. And then back to Matt Jackson. But as the checkered flag drops, Brad Mossen in the 2 car takes it ahead of the Australian champion Caden Brown. Cale Drake home for 2nd, Daniel Patterson home for 4th ahead of Matt Jackson. And then we go back to the last of your finishers, Toby Smith and Damien Bishop in the 72 car.
So the 2 New Zealand competitors throughout Heat Race 1 and Heat Race 2 have come away with podium finishes and taking the checkered flag. So good result early for our Kiwi friends as Brad Mosen makes his way up onto the presentation mound.
Yeah, thanks Gary. We've got Brad down here. Brad, I know mate, you're probably out of breath. That was a hell of a heat race.
Yeah, it was. It was a hell of a heat race. It was a lot of fun. You know, track really fun. You know, it's my first time here. Wasn't quite sure what to expect, but yeah, the odd shape and the banking really makes for a really racy track. So just stoked that we got some speed right out of the gate. You know, it's a huge credit to Wayne and Todd who are over here, and Tim who's back home sort of helping Wayne with setup stuff. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of the night and obviously next weekend.
Mate, it was a good battle there for a little while, but you powered away at the end and actually had quite a good gap over the field, so you must be really happy with that.
Yeah, no, the car did feel really good. You know, I was able to see a bit of a shadow going into one. I could see a car on the restart, and then I couldn't see them, so I felt pretty comfortable that we might have had some pace. Caden's obviously very quick. I assume he was probably somewhere behind me, so you know, I was trying to just hit my marks and just be fast, and you know, I'm happy to get the win.
Yeah, he ran in 2nd, so he come from 9th, so he's banking some good points too. But mate, I'm sure you want to thank everyone that gets you here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a huge effort. This is our car from New Zealand, so to get this car over here, obviously in a container with all of our tools and the crew and all of that, accommodation, it's a huge effort and expense. So it's a huge credit to Wayne and everybody from the Greenway team. We've got some great sponsors, Total Access, Youngman Richardson, who look after us, and obviously Greenway. So yeah, it's a team effort. It takes everybody, and we've got a huge contingent in New Zealand that's supporting us.
Matt Gearing on the inside. He'll be looking to get a ripping start here. They come up to the line nicely. Gearing goes, gets a really good jump at the line. We then go back and we've got Michael Conway. He's worked his way into a nice second position as they shoot down the back straight, but that's yellow. So he brings them through turns 3 and 4, up to the line. Still gets a good start. Great start. Up the inside goes Conway. Hurd up and around the outside. Hail Mary's back there. But your race leader is Matt Gearing, so he leads the way here. Matt Gearing, the 28, good Gearing. Back there, but up in front, Matt Gearing leads the way up and around the outside. We've got the 55 car there as well of Asker Sendell. So Sendell looking to try and push up on the inside. They're too wide back in 4th and 5th, but your race leader starting to clear out here. Number 3. Down the back chute they go. He'll come around with 7 laps to run this time. Matt Gearing. Up and around the outside. Here comes the working his way through the field now. So Alec Inslee, Hurd, he's back there. Further in the field with Jack McCarthy. Rusty Hickman out toward the tail there with the other Gearing car. But Matt Gearing clearing out. Length of the straight almost stuffed. We've got some smoke billowing from the second place getter. 11 car there of Alec Inslee trying to work him over and get his way up in a second. Does so now. Up and around the outside, Jack McCarthy. He's worked his way up to 3rd and he's going to come out after Inslee. But your race leader's checked right out here. 5 laps. And your race leader leads the way, Matt Gearing in the 6. Alec Inslee back in 2nd. Jack McCarthy, he's come from a long way back. And he's coming up fast on the tail of Alec Inslee. Further back we go to the 77 car, which is that of Michael Conway. Out behind Conway we go to... In front, Jack McCarthy. The top 3 are coming close together here. So McCarthy right up on the inside now of Alec Inslee. Looking to put a pass on, does a little bit of a slide. Inslee will try and return serve and he'll go around the outside of Gearing, does Matt. And McCarthy takes the race lead now in the 6. Matt Gearing back to 2nd. Further back we go to Alec Inslee. But the race leader, Alec Inslee, up on the inside of Gearing. There's 2 laps. They'll come around for the white flag this time round, and Jack McCarthy from a long way back in this one. He's come through and he's your race leader with 1 lap to run. Leading Matt Gearing. Further back we go to the 11 car of Alec Inslee. Mike back there. Further in the food with Rusty Hickman back toward the tail, but up in front your race leader Jack McCarthy will take the checkered flag, and Jack McCarthy takes it from Matt Gearing. Inslee back in 3rd. Further back we go to the 77 of Michael Conway. Rusty Hickman come right on in the end and worked his way up behind them. But a great heat race win there from the 6 of Jack McCarthy. Yeah, thanks, Gary. Jack, mate, you must be happy with that. There was a bit of in and out and around the outside and slide jobs. There was a lot going on in that one.
Yeah, mate, the car's great at the moment. Massive credit to Trent, Murph, Harry, everyone that works on this car, mate. I'm a bit puffed out. That was hard work, but man, we broke a radiator after hot laps, so everyone thrashed around, and it's just such a credit for me to be able to give back to this team that's given so much to me.
It looked like hard work, mate. You were on the inside, then, like I said, you were around the outside. There was just a lot happening and a lot moving around you.
Yeah, I just had to move. I had to have a car that was manoeuvrable there. I knew that we were probably going to have to go where somebody else wasn't, and once we got a bit of clean air, I realised how good the car was and just had to be patient from then.
Mate, I'm sure you want to thank everyone that helps you get here.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's Speedway shop, Hardwire Murphy Motorsports, they just give me a fantastic opportunity to drive this car, and you know, I can't thank them enough.
Well done, mate. We hope to see you a little bit later on. Put your hands together. The mark bit. Gent down around the outside. Hurd drifts up. Parker through the middle. Oh, that's tight. Parker. Wowee. Webster in there as well. Parker gets around the outside. Oh, it's 3 wide down the front straight if you don't mind. Nick Parker. Heart-thumping stuff just for a moment, but your race leader, Dylan Gent, leads the way. Nick Parker in second. Fleming coming through in the Western Australia 26. The inside, the Tasmania 91 shoots back. Brock Webster. Webster on the inside. Fleming on the outside. Parker now coming out after Gent. Your race is on in earnest up in front. Gent, your race leader. Parker back in second. The West Australia 26 of Fleming. He keeps coming. Back in fourth we go to Webster. Further back in the field we go to the 7 car, which is that the New Zealand 7 of Buckley. But your race leader, Nick Parker, leads the way now. So Nick Parker, down the back chute he goes. And the V39 is going really well. The yellows come on. We've got a spinner down in turns 1 and 2. So
speed now. We're back in our window where we want to be, and I think the track's coming to where it's going to be real racy for the feature.
Mate, I'm sure you want to thank all the sponsors and those that get you down the road.
Yeah, definitely. Alcott Hire, Petter Suspension, SCS 4-wheel drive, Peninsula Tow Bars, Tassie Auto Shots. The list goes on and on. There's many that help us out. Like I said, Slade Shocks, Beretta Chassis, Brisk Plugs, Scorpion Racewear, Revolution Race Gear, and all my team, couldn't thank them enough, and hopefully we can carry some good form now into the final.
Yeah, mate, good luck for the rest of the night and for next week as well. Put your hands together.
as the lights go out and we get set for a start. 10 laps for heat race number 5 of the Victorian Speedcar Championship. Good start too, and away they go. So Caden Brown and Curtis Jackson. So straight away Caden Brown assumes the race lead, and also Brad Mosen in the NZ number 2 entry, running positions 1 and 2. Back in third, Curtis Jackson, then Zoe Pearce, and also Mitch Saunderson. Meantime, it's Caden Brown, who has plenty of clear air. He is your race leader. And this time by, there's 8 laps to run, so it's Caden Brown, your current Australian champion, running at the front of the field. Back in position 2, Brad Mosen in New Zealand number 2, then back to Curtis Jackson and also Zoe Pearce and Mitch Saunderson. Then there's a break back further behind them to Damien Bishop, Ashton Rodriguez and Joe Lostich, but Caden Brown is doing it easily out there in front right now. So Caden Brown almost at half race distance. We've got an issue.
A big issue now.
Yep.
Goes for the V22 of Joe Lostich.
Come out of turn 4 and come across.
Leader's going to have the advantage because he sets the pace. He goes now. Caden Brown wastes no time. Here comes Mosen down to the low line, but loses a bit of speed. So Caden Brown checks out a little bit and gets a good gap on them now. They head down through 3 and 4 once again. And Caden Brown, your race leader, leads the way. Brad Mosen back in second. They've sort of levelled out a little now. So Mosen, Jackson. Wow, boy oh boy there. Curtis Jackson, Zoe Pearce. But your Australian champion, he is pulling away. Isn't he on a mission? Caden Brown down the back chute, down through 3 and 4 he goes. Shoots down the front straight, needs a big leader now over Brad Mosen, who sits back in second in the 2 car. Back further to the 3 car of Curtis Jackson's. Mitch Saunderson back in 4th with Zoe Pearce further back in the field. 3 laps, there'll be 2 laps to run as he crosses by this time. So the Australian champion, Caden Brown, leads the way. Shoots down the back chute. He'll come through, get the white flag this time round. He's a big leader, Brad Mosen, the only one in the same postcode as him at the moment. The 3 of Curtis Jackson back in 3rd. But as we shoot down the back straight for the last time, the TFH Australia 1 of Caden Brown takes out heat race number 5. Back in second, we go to Brad Mosen in the 2 car further back to the 3 car, which is that of Curtis Jackson. Back behind them, we go to Mitch Saunderson. Zoe Pearce back there. Aston Rodriguez back there as well. Wowee, he put on a clinic in heat race number 5, the Australian champion. Caden here, he's just taking off his helmet. We'll, Caden, mate, you must be happy with that. I wondered whether Brad Mosen might have had something for you off that start, but showed a clean set of heels, mate, and just drove away.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Obviously, Brad's a super good driver and probably one of the ones to beat here this week. And then he definitely did a job on me in that first heat. So it's good that we were able to respond there, and the car feels really good. Track's pretty technical, obviously quite slick in 1 and 2, and then in 3 and 4 there's a bit more grip. So definitely have to drive smart and try and limit your mistakes to make sure you're fast for the full 10 laps of the heat.
Mate, I'm sure you want to thank the sponsors and those who help you get here.
Yeah, exactly right. First and foremost, my mum, dad, sister, obviously they're family to me, and without them and all their support, we definitely wouldn't be able to do this. My partner Amy, Brad, my crew chief, he gets this thing dialed everywhere we go. Kobe, Deck, Jacob, and then all of our supporters as well. TFH Hire, custom stainless interiors, Rondelli metal fabrications, fine line trailers. Just everyone that chips in to get us around Australia. It's really cool.
No worries, mate. Well done. Hope to see you a bit later on. Put your hands together once again for the Australian champion, Caden Brown, taking out his Paysuit dispatches. Daniel Patterson and Jack McCarthy to duke it out on the front row. Matt Jackson sits mid-pack. McCarthy wastes no time. Patterson down the low line, but the speed seems to be around the outside at the moment. Jack McCarthy leads the way nicely. Sitting back in second, we go to Patterson. Gearing's worked his way past Patterson. So Gearing, here comes Matt Jackson. He shoots down on the inside. Oh, we've got a wheel cover come off down there in turns 1 and 2. Up off the race line though, so that might be okay. Jack McCarthy, your race leader, leads the way. Gearing back in second, back in third we go to Matt Jackson. Further back to Patterson. The other Gearing cars coming through as well. Drake back there with Inslee Conway. Wowee, Jack McCarthy standing tall out in front. Going for 2 from 2 here is the 6th car of Jack McCarthy. Back in second we go to Gearing. Further back to Matt Jackson. Back behind them we go to Gearing. But up in front, your race leader Jack McCarthy. That race is on for second and third. Second and third, Jackson really trying to turn the wick up now. Goes to the low line, tries to, can't make it happen. Gets up the inside now, does Matt Jackson. Tries to blow up the inside on Gearing. Gearing fights back around the outside. I think the outside running just a little better at the moment. Jack McCarthy, race leader, leads the way. Gearing back in second. Back in third, we go back to Matt Jackson. Gearing back there with Patterson. Conway back in the field there with Inslee, Drake, Smith and Polger. Wowee, Gearing takes another leap on the inside of Matt Jackson. So Matt Gearing works his way up to third. Luke Gearing in second, but your race leader, he said goodbye out in front, Jack McCarthy. And the 6 of Jack McCarthy will come by with 2 laps to run this time around. Jack McCarthy. Here goes Gearing on Gearing. Matt Gearing tries to lay it down to Luke Gearing on the inside. Back to Matt Jackson. The 2 Gearing cars carrying good pace. Up in front, Jack McCarthy gets the white flag. Luke Gearing trying to hold off the charge of Matt Gearing. Matt Jackson back there in fourth. Further back we go to the 11 car, which is that of Patterson Conway. But your race leader and Heat 6 winner, Jack McCarthy, takes 2 from 2 ahead of Luke Gearing. Matt Gearing home for third, ahead of Matt Jackson. Wowee, what a heat race that was. The 2 Gearing cars, Luke and Matt, duking it out back there in second and third. Jack McCarthy makes it 2 from 2. Thanks, Gary. Jack, mate, I don't know what to say. You must be wrapped with that 2 from 2.
Yeah, it's been a great night for the team, mate. We've put ourselves in some really good positions and we've actually managed to use both of our heat races to work on our car. So I feel like we've got a really good package for 30 long laps and hopefully we can be talking to you again at the end.
Yeah, mate. Give your sponsors another shout out.
Yeah, like always, just a massive thank you to the Speedway Shop, P&D Transport, everybody that helps this thing get along. Like I said before, mate, I'm just a lucky guy that gets to drive it.
Well done, mate. Hopefully we do see you a little bit later on. Put your hands together for Jack McCarthy, winner of heat race number 6. And load up.
Correct. Set for a start. B-main time, 12 laps. Green way, and away they go, Brock Webster. And they'll make their way down the back straight. Oh boy, the yellows come on. Oh! Wow. I reckon we might even cut this back more yet.
Well, Brock Webster...
Yep. Was the other car Damien Bishop, I should say.
So that...
Yeah. And
Toby Smith in the V55. He'll take the B-main. Will Robert Hurd ahead of Joe Lostich. Connor Ryan back there in third. So that's you.
Wow, there's
Those
a
three.
revelation.
Those 3 will go through.
No disrespect, But that was more painful than having teeth pulled. I mean...
Robert Hurd in the S57 will start out of position 17 alongside the V22 of Joe Lostich. The V27 of Connor Ryan will start on the final row of the grid alongside the South Australia 30 of Aaron Sharp. That's your Victorian Championship grid. Yep. It all goes on the line right here, right now.
30 laps will be the journey. Lights are out.
Green cloth goes up. About to try and crown a Victorian Speedcar champion. The 80th running of the Victorian Speedcar Championship about to go green. And Jack McCarthy tries to head down into turns 1 and 2. Mawson around the outside. The Australian champion, Caden Brown. He's throwing it in there as well. He's up to second. McCarthy back in third, Fleming back in fourth, Nick Parker gearing further back in the field there. So gearing sits back. But your race leader, Brad Mawson, 29 laps to run. He comes around this time, and Mawson, your race leader. Caden Brown, the Australian champion, trying to come out after him. Jack McCarthy, Keenan Fleming further back there with gearing. Gearing sits back there. We then go to the NZ7. It's that of Buckley, so the NZ7 throwing it in there. Here comes Nick Parker, but up in front we've got the NZ2 of Brad Mawson. He's your race leader, leading the way nicely. The Australian champion trying to throw everything at him. 26 to run. There'll be 5 laps down.
Oh, trouble on coming out of turn 2.
Brad
Jack
McCarthy.
So Jack, got a replay. Oh, there was just a touch there.
Was it with Matt Gearing, was it?
I think it might have been. On the restart, it will be 26 laps. Benny Swanson, Brad Mawson sits in P1 and behind him, Caden Brown in P2.
Race no time. Down into turns 1 and 2. And Brad Mawson hasn't lost a bit of that pace. He continues where he left off. The Australian champion chasing back in second. Back in Keenan Fleming. Further back to the 7. That's the NZ7 of Buckley. Matt Gearing back there in the field as well. He sits back. Nick Parker now trying to put a pass on. He gets up onto the tail of, well, he's going to come out after Matthew Gearing now as he goes on by on the 3 car of Mitchell Saunderson. So Nick Parker coming out after Matthew Gearing, but up in front your race leader Brad Mawson leads the way nicely.
Have a look at Rusty Hickman trying to work his way through the field.
So Brad Mawson leading the way nicely back there in second, the Australian champion. Keenan Fleming further back in third, back in fourth we go to Buckley. Fleming's out, the W26. He's out of the feature, 22 laps to run. There'll be 21 laps when he goes by this time round. So Brad Mawson leading the way and leading it nicely. He's got a little buffer here over the Australian champion. Although the Australian champion looks to dial it up now. Caden Brown trying to come out after Brad Mawson in the NZ2. Matthew Gearing back in third. Oh, for Buckley, the New Zealand 7. Cops a witch's hat down through turn 4. Your race leader leads the way, coming up on some lap traffic. The Australian champion trying to come out after him. Back in third, Matthew Gearing.
Dylan Gent.
Yeah. So he's just come to a stop just on the outside. Luke Gearing back there. So a lot to play out still here. Jack McCarthy's worked his way back up the field a little bit, but he's got a lot of work to do. Worked his way back up to 13th. go. Brad Mosen leads the way nicely. The Australian champion, Caden Brown, really dialing it up now, the Australian champion. Coming out after Brad Mosen. Matthew
Nick Parker's out, that'll bring on the yellows.
So Nick Parker out of the Victorian Championship.
Got a replay, and if you have a look closely, see Nick Parker just, Hickman's car got his left front, it only just clipped him, but it was enough to send Nick Parker out of shape and onto the infield. So Parker just slides up, Hickman comes through and bang.
Just a little clip.
Yep.
Still carrying good car speed with 20 laps to run. Brad Mosen. Waste no time. Oh, have a look at Saunderson. Throw it to Rusty Hickman down through turns 1 and 2. Hickman returns serve down the back chute. So Hickman and Saunderson going hard at it. Gearing sits back in that 5th position. Luke Gearing having a go underneath Mitch Saunderson. Matt Jackson sits back behind them, but up in front your race leader. Leading the way, Brad Mosen. The Australian champion just can't quite go with him at the moment. And he gets a bit unsettled, does the Australian champion. Still coming. But Brad Mosen got all the answers just at the moment. Rusty Hickman up to 3rd, if you don't mind, on debut in the V40. Down the back chute they go once again. Your race leader, Brad Mosen, the Australian champion in pursuit. Rusty Hickman trying to come out after both of them. We then go back to Matthew Gearing, Mitch Saunderson and Luke Gearing. Matt Jackson starting to wind up a little bit back in the field. We then go further back to the 27 car runner of Ryan. Out behind them, your race leader, 15 laps to run. Brad Mosen still leads the Australian champion. So Caden Brown trying to come out, closes up that gap a little bit. Rusty Hickman, he's right there with them as well. Matthew Gearing sits back in 4th, back in 5th we go to Luke Gearing. Matt Jackson, have a look, we've got one coming from back in the pack now. It's the 5 car which is coming through. Cale Drake. Meanwhile, your race leader really powering. He's got lap traffic. Lap traffic could pose a problem. Here we go. One around the outside, one to the inside. Oh, Mosen gets past. Here comes Caden Brown up the inside and blasts past on the inside of Brad Mosen. Brad Mosen comes back. New race leader, Australian champion Caden Brown. Gets it wound up when it matters, and he starts to pull away. 11 laps to run for the Victorian Championship. Rusty Hickman, he's in there and fighting for third, trying to come out after Mosen now. Mosen's race might have been run. Hickman gets by on Mosen. He'll go out after the Australian champion now. We've got one out. It's the NZ7 of Buckley. Meanwhile, your race leader, the Australia 1, Caden Brown, out in front. He gets past the lap traffic. We've got a yellow.
Turn one. And it's Connor Ryan in the 27 car.
Championship. Down they go. The Australian champion leads the way nicely here. Gets away from Mosen. Hickman sits back in 3rd, back in 4th. We go to Matthew Gearing, Luke Gearing. Cale Drake just gets a little crossed up in front of Matt Jackson. Jack McCarthy trying to fight up around the outside of Mitchell Saunderson, further back with Matt Jackson. Your race leader just gets further and further in front as Caden Brown. Caden Brown looking really out in front now. Brad Mosen sits in 2nd. Rusty Hickman trying to come out after Mosen to snatch that 2nd position. Matthew Gearing back in 4th, back in 5th we go to Luke Gearing. Cale Drake, Jack McCarthy, he's still trying to boogie up the field a little. Matt Jackson further back, your race leader, your Australian champion, shoots down the back straight. 6 laps to run this time round. So 6 laps to the Victorian Championship. The 2 of Mosen, the NZ2. Here comes Rusty Hickman. He's really trying to light it up again now. 5 laps remain for your race leader, and the Australian champion really looks to have settled into his groove now. Brad Mosen sits back in second. Rusty Hickman coming out after him. We've got a red.
Yellow, and turn 4.
Has he got one last thing left and one last stick left in the tail here? What about Rusty Hickman? Has he got a little surprise twist to add to the end of the race? The 2 gearing cars, we've got Matt and Luke. Cale Drake. Down into turns 1 and 2. And Caden Brown leads the way. Mosen back in second. Back in third we go to Hickman. Hickman trying to come out after Mosen. Mosen just gets a little tied up. Whoa, Cale Drake's hit the wall down the front straight. That unsettled him, but keeps on going. Jack McCarthy works his way past him. 5 laps to run. There'll be 4 when they go by this time round. And Caden Brown leads over Brad Mosen. Rusty Hickman sits in third. Back in 4th we go to Matt Gearing. Luke Gearing back there in 5th. Further back we go to Jack McCarthy, got up in front, your race leader, leading the way. The TFH Australia 1 of Kate Brown. Matt Jackson's out down the back straight, he's out of the car and the car's off the track. But Caden Brown shoots down the front straight, got a big lead over Brad Mosen. Rusty Hickman back in third, Matthew Gearing in 4th, further back to Luke Gearing. Cale Drake back there with Jack McCarthy, further back we go. But up in front, your race leader, he's in a race of his own. On his last circulation, the checkered flag will go up as Caden Brown comes off turn 4. And your new Victorian champion will be Caden Brown. He'll take it ahead of Brad Mosen. Rusty Hickman, a good race there for second and third. Back there to Matthew Gearing, Luke Gearing further back in the field there with Cale Drake, Jack McCarthy, Michael Conway, Daniel Patterson, Robert Hurd, Aaron Sharp.
Rusty Hickman tried to have a crack at Brad Mosen coming through turn 3. Didn't stick, and Brad Mosen was able to get back past him and hang on for position 2. Knows where to go. Just does that ever so easily and pulls up, and he'll get the checkered flag.
He certainly will, Gary. No doubt he'll go up and
Celebrate. There we go. Folks, put your hands together for Caden Brown, your new Victorian champion.
Yeah, what a great Victorian championship we've just witnessed here at the Bungadore Bull Ring. Confidence next week to defend your Australian Championship right here at the same venue?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was definitely cool. Obviously, last year we led a bunch of laps and let a Vic title slip with 3 to go, and then we're here in January and I threw a bunch of sliders for the lead and couldn't quite pull it off. So this one's super nice, not only to finally get one done here, but also to add another Victorian title to our collection. It's super special race to not only me and my family, but my greater family, like my grandpa, obviously. Big midget racer here in Victoria back in the late 1900s. So yeah, and obviously we have a national title here next weekend. So yeah, not much you could do for a better start.
And mate, I'm sure you want to thank all those that support you and all your sponsors and everyone who helps you get here.
Yeah, exactly right. Mum, Dad, my sister, Amy, my partner back home, they're obviously family, and they are huge supporters of mine and allowed me to come away and do what I love. So just to be able to get some wins here and there is just a super special to get for them. And crew chief Brad has been working his tail off just to get us that time to be better. And I feel like we really found something tonight, and I hope it showed distance-wise. So I felt super comfy in the car. I didn't have to quite push either. So that's really cool. And then Kobe Deck, my two best mates, travelling around with me as well. Jacob come in and pitched in a bit of a hand tonight as well. They're now sponsors: TFH Hire, Custom Stainless Interiors, Fine Line Trailers, Ronald Lee Metal Fabrication, Fastmaster, King Chassis, Factory Cane Shocks, Midwest Imports, just everyone that chips in, and it's only a start.
It's a big effort, mate. And the longer the race went, the better the car looked, to be honest. Like, you looked like you were quite comfortable the longer the race went. Yeah,
exactly right. I feel like our Achilles heel's been turned to and trying to get off that, but I really feel like that was our strength tonight, and it was just all about buying our time. And Brad there, I was definitely running a different line to him in 3 and 4, just trying to set him up. Tried a couple of times there, and I thought it might have been my only chances, so I definitely had to try and dig a bit deeper and knuckle down. Just stay patient for lap traffic, and when the golden chance come, we're able to take it, and steer clear.
No worries, mate. Well done, and good luck for next weekend for the Australian Championship, defending it. We'll move on to our... Sorry, Brad. Brad, mate, you must be wrapped with that. The second, Caden just had a bit much in the locker there towards the back end of the the feature race there.
Yeah, no, we started the race good. We had good pace there, and I felt pretty comfortable there, and felt like I was sort of controlling it on the restarts. Felt really good, but late in the race, I don't know if the track was developing or if I had a bleeder going or something. Car just felt pretty tight, so I was just talking to Rusty. He felt the same thing, so maybe it was just the air, the moisture in the track coming back up. I was doing everything I could to try and free it up, but just couldn't quite lay into it like the first half. So congratulations to Caden, obviously multiple probably Vic title guy at this point. So if we're going to lose to anybody, and I'm glad it's this guy. So congratulations again to them and Rusty, and thanks for having us.
Must feel you're full of confidence though, mate, that you've now raced the venue here and ahead of next week.
Yeah, of course. I mean, tonight's our first night here, so leading into next week, I mean, the whole intention of coming here and racing tonight was just to get a feel for the car and the track, and just to see where we sit. And it's a good start. So obviously next weekend's a big one, and that's kind of the main focus of our trip. So we're looking forward to it.
All the best for next week, mate. I'm sure you want to thank your sponsors too before we go.
Yeah, of course. Just want to say, I mean, the number one guy, Wayne Green, he's just this is his sort of his passion. He's the car owner, so he's the one that puts this whole deal together, brings me over here and brings all the team, and obviously we've got some good sponsors back at home that support us, but Wayne's the man. So really appreciate all of the hard work. It was just him and Todd tonight, so thanks to Toddy as well. We've got a few more coming next week, so they'll get to have a bit of a smoker, I think.
Good luck with the reinforcements and good luck for next week, Brad. Put your hands together for Brad Mosen, second in tonight's Victorian Championship. And then we have the third place getter, Rusty. We'll get you to step up here, Rusty. Well done, mate. Third, you must be wrapped with that. That's a pretty special effort, I would have thought.
Oh, mate, I'm honestly gobsmacked. I come in this race with no expectations. First time that I've even been in a car without a wing. First time in a midget. I honestly, like I said, I had no expectations, and we seem to just keep moving forward. I am super gutted because I come together with Wheels with Nick, and he was helping us out all night, and I feel shocking when I seen the yellow and seen him on the infield. He did throw their hands up, so I've probably got one coming, and I accept that. But I was just in a groove, running forward, trying to get forward as quick as I can once the helmet goes on. But I can't thank the old man. We've been in the shed till 1 o'clock in the morning since we got the car on last Saturday to get here so we could qualify for the Aussie title. But other than that, just me sponsors: Revolution Race Gear, Peerless Products, Camden Signage. East Mountain Transport, and big thanks to pretty much everyone in the committee that's helped us, sort of fast track us, getting us here. Andy Pierce and Eric Smith, he come down and daylighted the car, and just this class, like I said on the line, these cars are super badass, and I tip my hat to every one of these drivers because it takes a lot. I said on those restart laps that I was tired, I was knackered with 6 to go, but confidence going into the A main, and well done to these boys, and just thanks for having me, and apologies for anyone else that I touched on the track.
All good, mate. Well done. Good luck for next week. We wish them all well. Put your hands together once again for the top three in tonight's Victorian Championship for the Speed Cars.